Planning a terror attack, preparing to murder Antifa members. This isn't a movie plot. It's the allegations that recently landed Jarrett William Smith in an FBI cell. And authorities say his plans weren't only confined to the US of A.
Smith had spoken about his desire to travel to Ukraine to fight with the Ukraine-based violent far-right paramilitary group Azov Battalion.
Why Ukraine? Well, it's a hotbed for the far right and white supremacy, which have a big influence in the country's military. The Azov Battalion, for example, its insignia features two Nazi-era symbols, still widely used by neo-Nazi groups. Smith was dead set on joining up with Azov, and it's not just him. Reports say some of his collaborators were already fighting with another neo-Nazi group called Right Sector. It seems Kiev has a pull for Americans on the far right. Remember Charlottesville? Four members of a far-right group involved in that riot were arrested. And lo and behold, they too had a fixation on the Azov Battalion. They even traveled to Europe and met one of the battalion's leaders. With so many neo-Nazis in the US, you would think Washington would unambiguously oppose their growth. But that's just not the case. At first, in 2015, Congress unanimously voted against military aid to the neo-Nazi Azov Battalion.
I am grateful that the House of Representatives unanimously passed my amendments last night to ensure that our military does not train members of the repulsive neo-Nazi Azov Battalion.
But just 1 year later, Washington changed its mind. And all of a sudden, pictures began surfacing on social media of Azov and U.S. soldiers striking poses together. It makes you wonder if the U.S. even thinks Nazi ideology is a threat, let alone something negative.
Frankly, our vetting screens for human rights violations, not for ideology. Neo-Nazis, can join the U.S. Army too.
Looks like the U.S. Army will take anyone these days, as long as they hate the people Washington wants them to hate.